إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الرسول بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك وإن لم تفعل فما بلغت رسالته والله يعصمك من الناس إن الله لا يهدي القوم الكافرين. وعن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يغزو جيش الكعبة فإذا كانوا ببيداء من الأرض يخسف بأولهم وآخرهم قالت قلت يا رسول الله كيف يخسف بأولهم وآخرهم وفيهم أسواقهم ومن ليس معهم قال يخسف بأولهم وآخرهم ثم يبعثون على نياتهم أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Honorable ulama ikram, respected brothers and elders, you and I are living in a time, era and period where absolute focus is on upgrading, innovating and modifying. The natural result of which is we tend to distance ourselves from culture, from faith, from divine teachings, whether wittingly or unwittingly. The Urdu poet conveys this very beautifully and very eloquently in his couplets. He says, Nayi rahe, naye rehro, naye rehbar, nayi manzil. We are living in a time, there's new roads, there's new maps, there's new guides, there's new journeys, nay, there are new destinations. It's a different world altogether. He says, let's use a different metaphor. Now you don't ask a man for your physical address, what's your email address? I was now in Canada, as soon as I completed my talk, a lot of youngsters came across, Sheikh, can we have your website details? Sheikh, can we have your website details? It's a new world, ultimately. He says, let's use a different phrase. Naya darya, nayi kashti, naye moje, naya sahil. It's a new ocean with a wonderful coast, with brilliant waves and a beautiful ship. And he goes on quoting, in everything of life, we've upgraded and innovated. But then the climax of the couplets are, he says, Magar in mein koi cheez pyar ke qabil nahi milti. Despite your advancement and innovation, I'm sorry to tell you, nothing of it is truly enviable. Despite your innovation and your advancement, I'm sorry to tell you, nothing of it is enviable. The price you paid in innovating and the legacy you lost on the way. What does he say? Purani raah kya choti ke ab tak manzil nahi milti. That since you've abandoned your ancient roots and you have forsaken your divine teachings, till today you haven't found your destination. Till today, with the recent Asian quake, which perhaps made the planet wobble on its axis, but sad to say it hasn't made the hearts of man wobble. Which caused a tremor on this earth, but wallah hasn't caused a tremor to the hearts of man. And it is when calamities and catastrophes of this magnitude that takes place, once again it prompts the question of faith. And a host of questions are asked. If you read the Tuesday Star, there was a lengthy article where many questions are asked. Amongst them is, how can such a kind, loving, look at the approach, kind, loving, caring, compassionate God, Lord or Allah cause such a calamity and catastrophe to happen to man? I always give the example, perhaps a very simplistic one, but let me share it with you. A father wishes to explain something to his small son. He says, you know what, my boy? Okay, leave it, man. I don't think you'll understand. When you grow up, you'll understand. A small child, both are human. It's just the difference of age, but the junior cannot comprehend the wisdom of the senior. When two are humans and it is only the difference of age, yet the junior cannot comprehend the wisdom of the senior, then, oh man, you are creation and Allah is creator. How can you ever comprehend the wisdom of Allah? And how foolish of you, and how childish of you, and how naive of you, that every time you fail to comprehend the wisdom of Allah, you call it unkind and brutal and aggressive. Then under your definition, every father is unkind because never did any child comprehend the wisdom of his father. Whenever you fail to comprehend, which is 99 times, then it is unkind and it is brutal. And if I may add, the pinnacle of audacity. I was flying back from Amsterdam last week on my way back, so I picked up the newspaper and I read an article where one woman said, what did she say? The pinnacle of audacity. We will never become judgmental on the tragedy of any human. We have to start understanding whatever is happening is because of myself. It's high time every man attributes it to himself. But nonetheless, the caption of that particular article that I wish to share with you. She said, this was how reflected by the media, I don't know how true, but this is what was reflected in that paper. This was in inverted commas. God, why have you done this to us when we've done nothing to you? God, why have you done this to us when we've done nothing to you? Have we done nothing against Allah? My Allah says, وَلَوْ يُعَاقِضُ اللَّهُ النَّاسَ بِمَا كَسَبُوا مَا تَرَكَ عَلَى ظَهْرِهَا مِنْ دَابَّةٍ. Allah says, if I must start punishing you proportionate to your wrong, you will not find one survivor from my calamities and the challenges I put on this ummah then. You won't find a living creature. And the riwayat of Ibn Majah, لو أن الله عذب أهل سماواته وأهل أرضه لعذبهم وهو غير ظالم. If Allah's decree comes now to destroy every human on the face of this earth, the hadith says this decision will be nothing but justice from Allah. Nothing but justice from Allah. So understand, never mind to speak about our past evil. Never mind to go back into the evil of mankind in the past. During the midst of this catastrophe, if you heard the sentiments being echoed on the eve of New Year, that celebrate before, celebrate after, observe a moment of silence to respect the victims of the tragedy. Have we stooped so low? Is that the definition of solidarity, I ask? Is that how you share your sentiments? Party before, party after, drink and womanize, a moment of silence, you enjoyed yourself and console yourself, you have complied with the standards of human compassion in present day. As far as the world is concerned, you are still a human. You've observed a moment of silence. The hadith that I quoted before you, Aisha radiallahu anha says, the Nabi of Allah says, an army will advance towards the Kaaba prior to Qiyamah. And as they get close, Allah will cause the earth to split and swallow them all. So I said, oh Nabi of Allah, but I want to ask you a question on that hadith. It's in Bukhari. There will be a lot of innocent people also walking. Why will the earth swallow them? You see, our answers are all in Quran and hadith, but have we read it? We're getting wrong input. Nabi alayhi salam said, يُخْسَفُ بِأَوَّلِهِمْ وَآخِرِهِمْ. Aisha, look here, in this world, the system of Allah is different. Allah will not differentiate between the religious and the irreligious, the guilty and the innocent. In this world, the earth will swallow them all. ثُمَّ يُبْعَثُونَ عَلَى نِيَّاتِهِمْ. But on the day of Qiyamah, Allah will then differentiate. Hence, those that were innocent and died, that is the choice of Allah to decide who was. However, the Nabi of Allah says, if you drown, you're a martyr. Now, who's drowning is martyrdom, that Allah will decide. And who's drowning is azab is not my job, not your job, not the job of any human. That is the exclusive prerogative of Allah. The question is, brothers, I can continue speaking about this here, but I don't want to go around and, elaborating. What is the way forward? What guidance can I advocate from this platform today? What message can I throw out to this congregation? I thought it opportune, given the time we pass in, that I walk you through the final Hajj of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And not speak on the virtues, on the rules of Hajj, but rather just give you a glimpse of what was your Nabi's last words before he left this world. Even a disobedient child wishes to honor the words of his dying father. I disobeyed my father, but tell me my father's last words. Let me latch on to something. Let me hold on to something. I swear by Allah, the fortune of this ummah will be different, even if it only embraces the final sermon of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. You walk into a house, you see the last sermon, how beautifully engraved, only if that can come into my life. You walk into a Muslim surgery, the oath of a Muslim physician, how striking, what selective the words are, only if that can be transmitted into our lives. Scholars write that when the Nabi of Allah, words cannot describe the jubilation and the joy that gripped the hearts of Sahaba when the news spread that the Nabi of Allah will be embarking on Hajj. Allahu Akbar. Can you imagine the atmosphere in Medina?